The sun had barely crested the rolling hills of Calabasas when the news erupted, a jagged tear slicing through the polished facade of celebrity existence. Kourtney Kardashian, the eldest of the infamous Kardashian clan, a woman whose life had been meticulously curated for public consumption, found herself at the center of a storm she never saw coming. Travis Barker, her husband of nearly 3 years, had reportedly taken their son, Rocky 13 Barker, and disappeared into the early morning haze, leaving Kourtney not just heartbroken, but utterly destroyed in a way that no amount of reality TV drama could have foreshadowed. This wasn't a mere spat or a tabloid-friendly tiff. It was a visceral, gut-wrenching unraveling, the kind of betrayal that shattered the illusion of their perfect blended family and exposed something raw and unfiltered beneath the surface. If you're as gripped by this explosive tale as I am, subscribe now, because Travis Barker's side of the saga is the one that's set the internet ablaze, sparking waves of sympathy and speculation that have drowned out Kourtney's polished pleas. He's the rock star dad who's stolen the spotlight, and I'm firmly in his corner. The whispers had been there for months, faint at first, like the hum of a distant amp, but they'd grown louder, more insistent, until they couldn't be ignored. Kourtney and Travis had been the ultimate Hollywood couple, her with her sleek, jet-black bob and her wellness empire, Push, built on green juices and self-care mantras. Him with his tattooed arms, drumsticks perpetually in hand, and a punk rock energy that never seemed to fade. She was 45, a mother of 3 from her decade-long roller coaster, with Scott Disick Mason, the introspective 15-year-old with his father's sly grin, Penelope, the 12-year-old spitfire with a wardrobe to rival her Aunt Kim's, and Rain, the 10-year-old wild child with hair that tumbled past his shoulders. Travis, 49, brought his own brood from his chaotic past with Shauna Moakler. Landon, 21, a lanky dreamer chasing a music career. Alabama, 19, a social media maven with a razor-sharp wit. And stepdaughter Adiana, 25, the quiet artist who bridged their worlds. Then there was Rocky, born in November 2023, their shared creation, a chubby-cheeked testament to a love that had defied skeptics, his dark eyes a mirror of Travis's, his tiny pout pure Kourtney. Their story had been a whirlwind from the start, a collision of opposites that somehow clicked. They'd met in 2020, bonding over late-night treadmill sessions at a mutual friend's gym, their flirtations spilling into public view by early 2021. He proposed that October on a Montecito beach, roses strewn across the sand, her kids giggling as he dropped to one knee. 3 weddings followed. First a drunken Vegas chapel lark, then a quiet Santa Barbara courthouse moment, and finally a lavish Italian affair in Portofino, Kourtney draped in Dolce & Gabbana lace, Travis in head-to-toe black, their families cheering from velvet pews. On the Kardashians, she'd called him her soulmate, her voice soft but sure, while he'd smirk and say she kept him grounded, his fingers tapping a restless beat on whatever surface was closest. Rocky's arrival cemented it, or so it seemed. The pregnancy had been a battle. Emergency fetal surgery at 30 weeks after a terrifying complication. Weeks of bed rest. Kourtney's Instagram a diary of hope and fear. Travis canceled shows, sat by her side, his hand on her belly as they waited for their miracle. When Rocky came, small but screaming, it was a victory lap, a moment they'd fought for together. But beneath the glossy photos and gushing captions, the fault lines were forming. Kourtney had always been the architect of order, her life a symphony of schedules and systems. Family dinners at 6 p.m. sharp, kids' bedtimes non-negotiable, even the dog's organic treats doled out on a timer. Travis was chaos incarnate, a man who'd survived a 2008 plane crash that left him with scars and a hunger to live fast. Gigs until dawn, impromptu tattoos, 5K runs at sunrise just because he could. For a while, their differences fueled the fire. She'd softened, trading her minimalist neutrals for his oversized band tees, letting him blast Blink 182 in her pristine kitchen. He'd adapted, sipping her kombucha, joining her for sunrise yoga on the deck. They'd drum together, her laughing, awkward with the sticks, him guiding her hands, while Rocky napped in a bassinet nearby. The kids adjusted, too. Mason teaching Landon Call of Duty tricks, Penelope and Alabama filming TikToks, Rain chasing Asiana's rescue pup around the pool. It was messy, loud, and beautiful, a family stitched together with love and a little duct tape. Then came Rocky, and the balance shifted. Kourtney dove into motherhood with a ferocity that surprised even her sisters. She breastfed on demand, co-slept with Rocky curled against her chest, researched baby-led weaning with the intensity of a PhD student. Her days revolved around him. His naps, his coos, the way he'd grasp her finger with tiny, fierce hands. She'd post close-ups of his feet, his wispy hair, captions like, "My whole world," or "Grateful every day." Travis loved it. At first, he'd call Rocky "my little drummer," buy him miniature bandanas, prop him on his lap during Zoom calls with the band. But he couldn't match her pace. While she slowed down, savoring the quiet, he sped up, back on tour with Blink 182, planning a marathon, sketching tattoo designs in the margins of set lists. She'd text him about Rocky's first giggle. He'd reply hours later with a blurry selfie from a venue. "Miss you guys." The disconnect grew, a silent fracture no one noticed, until it was too late. The fight that sparked it all wasn't some screaming match caught on camera. It was quieter, uglier, a slow burn that ignited in the dead of night. Late March 2025, the air still cool in Calabasas, Kourtney had pitched a family weekend, just the three of them. She'd envisioned a retreat, hiking trails, a picnic by the creek, Rocky in a carrier against her chest. She'd packed meticulously, bamboo plates, a cooler of vegan snacks, a portable diffuser with lavender oil to calm the baby. Travis had a gig lined up, a small one, he insisted. A favor for a friend's club opening. She'd asked him to skip it, her voice low, eyes searching his. "We need this," she'd said, gesturing to the nursery where Rocky slept, his starfish hands splayed on the mattress. Travis frowned, his jaw tight, fingers drumming on the counter. "It's one night, Court. I'm not ditching my life." It spiraled from there, her saying he cared more about the stage than their son, him snapping that she'd turned their home into a fucking spa retreat, all rules and no room to breathe. She accused him of drifting. He accused her of smothering. The words cut deep, and when he grabbed his keys and stormed out, she thought he'd cool off, crash at his studio, come back by morning. He didn't. Dawn broke, and Kourtney woke to silence. No Travis sprawled on the couch, no coffee brewing, no Rocky gurgling in his crib. The nursery was empty, the blanket she'd draped over him gone, his pacifier. A black one with a tiny skull, a gift from Travis, missing from the changing table. Her scream echoed through the house, sharp enough to rouse Mason from his gaming coma, Penelope from her preteen slumber, Rain from his tangle of superhero sheets. She tore through the rooms, phone in hand, calling Travis again and again, voicemail, every time. Texts flew. Where are you? Where's Rocky? Answer me. The kids hovered wide-eyed, Mason muttering, what the hell? Penelope clutching her iPad. Rain asking, did Trav take Rocky to the drums? Then the photo dropped, a grainy X post from a random account. Timestamped 3 a.m. Travis at a gas station off the 101. Hoodie up, Rocky in his arms. A car seat swinging from his hand. Barker's out. Took the kid. It went viral in minutes. Retweets climbing into the thousands. Hashtag Team Travis, trending by breakfast. Travis didn't vanish for long. Hours later, he posted that diner video. Rocky in a high chair, grabbing a fry with pudgy fingers. Travis's voice rough but warm. We're good, little man. Just you and me. The setting was pure Americana. A chipped Formica table, a neon open sign flickering in the window, a waitress in a faded apron pouring coffee 2 booths down. Rocky's onesie had tiny drumsticks printed across the chest. A detail fan zoomed in on, obsessed. Travis's hand, knuckles scarred and inked, steadied the tray, his wedding band glinting under the fluorescent light. It wasn't staged, wasn't polished. It was real, messy, human. X erupted. This is a dad who'd fight for his kid. Travis is living his truth. Kourtney's too fake. The clip racked up millions of views. Shares spiking every time someone looped Rocky's giggle. Memes followed. Travis as a lone wolf. Rocky as cub. Kourtney the overbearing zookeeper. The sympathy tilted hard his way. A tidal wave of support that crashed over her silence. Kourtney's world imploded behind closed doors. Her Calabasas mansion, white walls, eucalyptus wreaths, a fridge stocked with almond milk, was a ghost town. She paced the kitchen, barefoot in a push hoodie, her matte jaw untouched, steam curling into nothing. Chris swept in like a general, phone glued to her ear, barking at lawyers, PR reps, anyone who'd listen. We need a statement now, she snapped, while stylists hovered with under-eye patches for the inevitable pap shots. Kim and Chloe flooded the family chat, Kim pushing for a sister solidarity post, Chloe offering to track Travis down and drag him back. Kourtney ignored it all, staring at Rocky's empty high chair, its wooden beads clicking in the breeze from an open window. Hours later, she posted a black and white shot of her cradling Rocky, his face tucked into her neck, captioned with a single broken heart emoji. Her fans rallied, flooding the comments with "Stay strong" and "You're enough," but it didn't land like Travis's video. Her pain was real, but his rebellion was electric. The kids were a powder keg. Mason, all teenage angst, locked himself in his room, Travis's old Blink albums blaring through the walls. Penelope, fierce and loyal, snuck texts to Travis. Is Rocky safe? Tell him P misses him. Her bond with him forged over late-night snack runs. Rain, oblivious, kept asking when Rocky's dada would bring him home, tugging at Kourtney's leggings with sticky hands. Across town, Travis's crew doubled down. Landon posted a grainy photo of him and his dad at a skate park, captioned, "Blood over everything." Alabama's TikTok was a dagger. Lip-syncing "Sweet Child O' Mine," her smirk a weapon, nose ring catching the light. Adiana stayed quiet, sketching in her studio, her phone dark, but the lines were drawn. The blended family wasn't just fractured, it was a war zone. Loyalties split down the middle. Details leaked like gasoline on a fire. The car? Travis's black Range Rover, plates reading drummer 13. Last seen peeling out of the driveway. The diaper bag, black leather, monogrammed with Rocky's initials. A Christmas gift from Kourtney, slung over his shoulder in that gas station shot. Insiders swore he'd left a note, scrawled on a napkin, tucked under her yoga mat. Need space. Got Rocky. Don't trip. Her team denied it. His didn't bother responding. The image stuck. Travis, wild and untamed, snatching his son like a rock star stealing the encore. Another tidbit. He'd packed light. 3 onesies, a bottle, that skull pacifier, stuffed into a backpack with a torn strap. Every scrap fed the frenzy, painting him as the rogue hero, her as the fallen queen. X was a battlefield. Posts dissected the diner clip frame by frame. The fry smudged with ketchup, the diner's jukebox glowing red, Rocky's sleepy yawn. He's thriving with Travis. One tweet read, 90,000 likes. Kourtney's house looks like a museum. No wonder he bolted. Another jabbed, 60,000 retweets. Memes multiplied. Travis as Han Solo, Rocky as Baby Yoda, Kourtney as a juicer-wielding Darth Vader. Her leaked text, bring him home. We can fix this. Hit the tabloids, and the replies were brutal. Too late, babe. With 25,000 hearts. Travis's drum solo clip, captioned Family First, was the knockout punch. His beat raw, his eyes fierce. The crowds roar a chorus of approval. It wasn't just viral, it was a movement. Kourtney's silence was a weight she couldn't shake. She jogged that morning, AirPods in, face a mask, paparazzi drones buzzing overhead. Her sisters plotted, Kim drafting a Kardashian stick-together tweet, Khloe pacing with a protein shake, vowing to handle it. But Travis owned the narrative. He was at that sound check, Rocky strapped to his chest in a carrier, the baby's tiny fists waving as the crowd chanted his name. Travis grinned, teeth flashing, sweat beading on his brow, while the bass thumped like a heartbeat. Kourtney's perfection, her kale salads, her mindfulness apps, couldn't touch that. He was the outlaw dad, the one who'd burn it all down for his kid, and the world was hooked. His chaos was real, his love unscripted. And that's why I'm subscribed, because in this war, Travis and Rocky are the pulse, and Kourtney's just the echo. The sound check wasn't just a performance, it was a statement. Travis had rolled up in that black Range Rover, tires crunching gravel, Rocky's carrier clipped to his chest like a badge of honor. The venue was a dive, a low-slung warehouse on the outskirts of LA, graffitied walls, and a stage that sagged under the weight of decades. Blink 182's crew milled around, roadies hauling amps, but all eyes were on him. He didn't say much, just nodded to Mark Hoppus, adjusted Rocky's tiny headphones, black skull-patterned custom-made, and launched into a beat that rattled the rafters. The crowd, a mix of die-hard fans and curious onlookers, lost it. Phones lit up, capturing every second. Rocky's sleepy blink, Travis's focused scowl, the way he'd pause to kiss the baby's forehead between riffs. It wasn't polished, it was primal. A father and son against the world. And it hit harder than any of Kourtney's curated Instagram grids ever could. Back in Calabasas, Kourtney's jog wasn't just exercise, it was escape. She pounded the pavement, her usual serene stride replaced by something frantic, her breath fogging in the crisp morning air. The paparazzi trailed her, lenses glinting from behind manicured hedges, shouting questions she didn't answer. Kourtney, where's Rocky? Did Travis leave you for good? She kept her head down, black leggings and a hoodie or armor, but the cracks showed. Her hands shook as she fumbled with her earbuds, her eyes rimmed red behind oversized sunglasses. The mansion loomed behind her, a silent sentinel, its floor-to-ceiling windows reflecting a life she'd built brick by brick. Inside, the chaos reigned. Crisp barking orders, assistants scurrying, a whiteboard in the dining room mapping out damage control. But Kourtney didn't stop, didn't turn back. She ran like she could outpace the headlines, the heartbreak, the hollow ache where Rocky's laughter used to be. Travis's camp fed the fire with scraps of defiance. An insider, some tattooed roadie with a lip ring, told TMZ Travis had no regrets, that he'd taken Rocky because Kourtney's world was too tight, too controlled. Another leak claimed he'd been planning it for days, stashing cash and a burner phone in the Rover's glove box, waiting for the right moment to bolt. The napkin note resurfaced in rumors, scribbled in Sharpie, allegedly saying, "Can't do this anymore. Rocky's with me. We're fine." No one could verify it, but the story stuck, painting him as a man pushed to the edge, a dad who'd rather run than suffocate. His fans ate it up, flooding X with Travis as a legend and free Rocky, turning him into a folk hero. Kourtney's team countered with whispers of irresponsibility and instability, but they landed soft, drowned by the roar of his viral wave. The kids' reactions only deepened the divide. Penelope's texts to Travis weren't just check-ins. They were lifelines. "Tell Rocky I'll teach him to skateboard," she wrote, her fingers flying over the screen. A secret rebellion against her mom's lockdown. Mason, holed up with his music, started sketching drum designs in his notebook, a quiet nod to the stepdad he'd never admit he missed. Rain, still clueless, dragged Rocky's stuffed dinosaur around the house, asking Kourtney, "Can we call Trav to come play?" On Travis's side, Landon and Alabama doubled down. Landon dropping a SoundCloud track titled Roadrunner, all distorted guitars and cryptic lyrics about loyalty, while Alabama's next TikTok featured her drumming on a table, winking at the camera with a "Guess who taught me this?" Adiana stayed out of it, her silence a shield, but the tension rippled through every text, every post, a family splintered by one man's reckless move. Social media wasn't just a platform, it was a coliseum, and Travis was the gladiator. That soundcheck clip looped endlessly, fans dissecting every frame. Rocky's yawn synced to the snare, Travis's grin as he caught a thrown water bottle one-handed. This is what a real dad looks like. One post read, 100,000 likes. Kourtney's crying over oat milk, while Travis is out here living. Another jabbed, 75,000 retweets. The diner video got a sequel. A blurry fan pic of Travis changing Rocky's diaper in the Rover's backseat, parked outside a 7-Eleven. His tattooed arms cradling the baby with a tenderness that melted even the cynics. "He's not perfect, but he's real," the caption said, and it stuck. Kourtney's broken heart post faded in comparison. Her pain was poignant, but his fire was magnetic, and the world couldn't look away.